Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us for day 2 of the workshop. I think let's just begin. First, yes, can you please rename yourselves if you haven't done so to your name underscore organization so we can identify you. And also for this session, we are requesting that everyone turn on your cameras so we can see you and engage with you better. Yep. So before we start, can we all take a group photo? So can I request everybody to please turn on your cameras? Everyone who is here. Yep. Okay. Yep. Please turn on your cameras if you're able to. And we'll take a group photo at the beginning and at the end. Okay. Let's do one now. 1, 2, 3. And another one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think someone just joined us. Let me take one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thanks for that. Maybe we'll just begin with some announcements before I hand it off to Mr. Adrian. So, okay, first off, we received a lot of your assignments, so thank you for that. However, some of you have written in to say that you do need more time. There is more time to complete it because you will need to attach the day 1 assignment in your final assignment. So if you've already done it, then you don't have to, do it again. But if you hadn't had the chance to do it, you can still take more time to complete it and just submit it with the final assignment next Friday. So as I think we've sent you the assignment brief, the final project is actually a Google Sites project. So you will need to attach your HyperDoc somewhere within your Google Sites. Yeah. So no worries if you haven't been able to complete it in time, you can still do it, just attach it with your final assignment. And let me see. Yes, I think that's mainly it. And we do hope to see everybody's cameras on so we can know that you're still with us and engage you. And I think we have a lot of exciting exercises planned for today. So I'm looking forward to your participation. Yep. Thank you so much. I think Adrian, you can take it away.
An awesome afternoon to everybody. I hope you're doing well. Good afternoon. Can you see my screen? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Type in number 1 if you can hear me clearly, and if you could also see my screen there. Thank you very much. Okay. So just some few reminders and FAQs before we proceed with our day 2 workshop. So again, welcome to the Making Headway workshops. This is actually the first one, all about Hyflex teaching using Google Workspace. Now, some FAQs. Who is this workshop for? This workshop is best suited for educators who are familiar with technology, have a stable internet connection. I hope you do have one, and are interested in incorporating Google Workspace tools in your regular teaching practice. All teachers should have their own computers and internet access for the duration of the workshop, and all participants should have a conversational mastery of English to understand the lesson. Will I get a certificate of completion? Yes. Participants will receive a certificate of completion jointly issued by the Head Foundation and the training provider, Look Beyond Digital Learning Solutions, upon meeting these criteria. Number 1, attend the entire duration of the workshop. Number 2, complete both the pre and post workshop surveys. And number 3, complete and have a passing grade on all assignments. The last one for the final assessment will be discussed later before we end this workshop. Program overview. Again, this is an upskilling workshop for educators in strengthening your technical skills with the use of Google Workspace for education tools in a Hyflex learning modality. The online training aims to equip teachers with different practices and strategic approaches with Google Workspace that you can integrate in your respective lessons to fully engage your students. So a variety of techniques and the tools will be presented through visualization, cooperative learning, inquiry-based instruction, and differentiation. The training will cover discussions on the recommended programs, hands-on training, definitely more hands-on activities for everybody for today, and additional uh, tasks for individual practice and improvement. The objectives for this session would be number one, strengthen various in-person and online teaching strategies by learning Google Workspace for education tools and techniques and delivering Hyflex learning. Number two, integrate updated Google Workspace features to increase student engagement. So this is our one of our goals to still maintain or keep it high, the engagement within our students. Number three, integrate instruction and assessment via differentiated instruction in a flexible teaching and learning environment to enable letter A student engagement and active learning through in-person and or online synchronous discussion and self-paced learning modules and activities. Letter B, incorporation of student collaboration in a Hyflex environment. And letter C, student voice and creative expression. Now, for the assignments, a key part of our Making Headway workshops is making sure participants digest and are able to implement the technical skills discussed. So there will be assignments given throughout the workshop to help you put into practice the techniques covered and a final project that will be graded by yours truly. So that will be discussed later. The project will not take more than 4 to 8 hours, and participants will be given 1 week for completion. Participants are required to get a passing grade on the project to qualify for a certificate and completion there. Now, here are our topics for today. So we have two major applications that we are going to talk about. The first one would be Google Arts and Culture. So it's exploring immersive tools with Google Arts and Culture plus discussion and experiential learning. And then the other tool would be Google Sites. So it's creating Google Sites for flexible repository of content and learning materials. Now, these two Google for Education applications were also highlighted or are also highlighted in this session to be able to become more flexible, to have more options when it comes to either you are on a fully high flex modality or even in a hybrid setup, or even if you're in a full face-to-face setup. So there. But before that, I'd like to have first a very quick activity. I'll be giving you the link to this Jamboard activity. So I'll be sharing this with everybody with edit access. Kindly access this Jamboard. Take note also for this second day workshop, we'll still be able to apply and practice what we have learned during our day one session, which is the hyperdoc, hyperdoc methods, and also the use of some Google apps like Google Drawing, Docs, and even Google Slides there. So I hope you're already here. Can you all access the Jamboard activity? Kindly type in 1 if you're already here inside the document. Okay. Thank you very much for responding. There. So I'll proceed to the next frame. Now I'd like to ask everybody first, your aha moment. So what are your takeaways from the previous workshop last time? That was September 14. So what are your aha moments during the last session? So you may put your thoughts, your insights about it by clicking a sticky note. Okay, so let's wait for your entry. So what are your aha moments, your latest discoveries, and maybe some reflections on the discussions we had last time? Could not access. Let's see one more time. Hi Esmen Kabal. Can you try maybe refreshing the link or your page? Okay, I'll try to read um some of your answers already. One would be from Rahima Ona, that I can be more creative digitally and that there are so many ways to engage the children. You just have to be flexible and willing. This is actually a good point. You really have a good point here. These tools, we might or we may be used to the may we are actually maybe used to with some of the things or we're used to doing methods that we're already doing. So for example, using or creating presentations um in a traditional way, or maybe by using Microsoft tools the way we do things few years ago. But actually there are so many ways to be creative. There are different styles, and actually some of these we also actually learned this during the pandemic. So eventually most of us, or even for the other teachers, um we could learn so much from the community if we are part, or if we're part of a community, for example, for teaching. The other one is that I also advise everybody that to keep on exploring or even researching for some new strategies, because again, with the same tools, we could give a new touch, or we could have a different flavor on these tools to make it even more exciting for the students. I'll try to read some more endless possibilities to make the lessons more engaging uh, and collaborative with Hyperdocs. Maybe for the others, it's like a re-exploration of these skills with Google Slides, Google Docs. Maybe we are already doing this the past few years or the past few months, but maybe this is something uh, like in a much more formal setup, learning. No, oh, hyperlink. We're not just creating hyperlinks, or we're not just putting hyperlinks in documents. We're actually creating hyperdocs, a more heightened or elevated approach in creating activities or creating presentations or even modules. Mine was knowing the newly added features in Docs. It made Google Docs more interesting and interactive. So Google Docs and the other Google Workspace applications, we have we have a lot of new features for these applications. And sometimes, if we're not using it for maybe good 3 to 6 months, we might be surprised that, oh, there's another feature, or there's an added feature. So make sure to just keep in touch and keep updating ourselves with these tools. Now, I just like to quickly flash my other presentation. So for this one, this is applicable for most of the Google Workspace tools. You have here some of the tools on top. Now, when you go to help, you'd be able to see here slides help, training updates, similar with Google Docs or Sheets or Forms. So if you want to check if there's an update again for this application, just click updates, and then you'll be seeing here what they've actually pushed for the month. They don't do it monthly or maybe weekly, but it's almost every time. So maybe per quarter there's a new feature. Now these features were based from the responses or feedback of the actual users, which are the teachers and students. So Google actually listens to the suggestions of the users. So in here, you'd be able to self-explore or self-study on these updates. So going back to the Jamboard, let's try to read more. Read more. Integrating HyperDocs and learning instruction. This is new for me. I know how to use it, but never think to incorporate it in. So this is another way to reduce so many links. Sorry, it's one way to reduce so many materials or so many files given in a learning management system or in a Google Classroom. So in this way, we make everything all in one place. It's like coming up or making an all-in-one material. What else? Integration of ICT in the teaching learning process. Creating HyperDocs as learning instruction. The training really reminds me of how integrating the Google ecosystem can create more engaging teaching material. To be honest, with the Google Workspace applications, we may actually just choose 1, 2, 3 applications, but to learn the whole suite of application would be really beneficial for most of us teachers. As you could see, almost all of it are interconnected. For example, when you share specific document to your colleague or to your students, you'll be notified through Gmail. Even if you're logged in through your mobile phones, you'll also be notified through your Gmail or maybe through your Google chat. What else? I don't need to download video clips from YouTube. That makes my PC slower. So we are also used to this. I am also doing this before. I download YouTube videos and upload it in my presentation or upload it in my PowerPoint presentation that eventually will make my device slower. So, but then again, there's pros and cons. For example, if we don't have internet connection, we might not be able to load the videos from YouTube. But again, it's a case-to-case basis. And we have to really make sure when to use the offline features or the online features of the different tools or different Google Workspace applications. What else? This tool really helped teachers to be more innovative in delivering learning to pupils. It is my first time to use this tool and I enjoyed it. So this one also, it also teaches us how to be innovative. There's actually no fixed strategy for one teacher. We may be able to offer or suggest or introduce some strategies. But then again, when you already adapt these tools, You may have your own touch. You may have your own style in these in your classrooms, in your online classrooms, or even during face to face. So it allows you to become more innovative and flexible. What else? I was able to explore and made engaging presentation material. So I hope I was able to read all of the entries. Okay. So um, I'd like to show you that currently we have 17 responses already, or 17 has submitted the assignment for this. But you may still upload your assignments here. Don't worry. We'll give you more time for the others who were not able to finish or submit their work. But I'd like to highlight some of the work, some of your work. So I just chose three assignments. So one would be this from Mr. Crispin Ligot there. So I'd like to show you his presentation. So the topic would be appropriate activities for specific seasons in the Philippines. Are you here, Mr. Crispin? There. Okay, so in here, you have inserted an explore activity. Find the words and phrases that shows an activity during wet season and dry season. As you can see here, it allows students to, if they have their own copies, to really mark on the specific slide. And as well, you've also inserted here some GIFs that could make it more visually engaging for the students. What else? Another activity would be arrange the scrambled words to form phrases about an activity during dry season and wet season. So this is another approach that you could also do. The other one is by Jamboard. In our Jamboard application, we have sticky notes, right? So one style also that you could do is that one sticky note for one letter. So you could like come up with a jumbled or scrambled words from even Jamboard. What else? Draw an activity during dry season and wet season. So as you can see here, a little bit of GIFs or GIFs would really be helpful to make sure that students are still engaged, or students are still there with you, because our students, they have very short attention span, so we really have to make sure that in a few seconds we try to make sure that they're still with us, especially for those who are also or still conducting online classes. Then there's another one, inserting video. So it's up to you if it's through link or by just getting the actual videos into the slide presentations. Okay.
Hello, children. Today we are going to talk about.
Okay. I'll try to proceed to the next one. So more videos. And then some activity sheets still that you could do inside Google Slides. Thank you very much, Mr. Crispin. I'd like to ask if, and from the participants right now, I'd like to ask to turn on your microphones. What difficulties did you encounter during the creation process, or while you're creating your HyperDocs? What were the difficulties? Are there challenges, or was it really easy? You can turn on your mics.
Mr. Adrian, if I may.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. My name is Yoga. Okay. So my my difficulty while I'm doing the homework yesterday was, uh, yeah, I still need to get used to link the docs with, uh, okay, with the different application. Like, I initially want to make the slide and then connect it to the drawings, but yeah, I still new with the drawing, so it takes time. And then at the by the end of the day, I just remove the drawing part and I make it directly to the slides, just because I haven't used to the drawings one.
Okay, thank you, Yoga. Really nice name. Actually, it's something that I think normal for most of the users in general, because we're all used to a specific tool. Like for example, maybe let's be very specific, like Microsoft tools. We grew up with these tools, right? Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and we also understand that shifting to another platform will would take us more time to be more comfortable in using it. But actually, what we also recommend is that just play with it, just tinker with these tools if you have free time, or maybe before you close your device after work hours, something like that. So it will come naturally eventually when we are practicing these tools. For example, I actually was introduced to these tools 2013. So Google Slides, Google Docs, but that time I was happy with Microsoft tools. And also, if you know Keynote, and the other one is Pages from Apple. So those were my chosen tools. And then I did actually practice using Google applications not until 2015, and then eventually 2016 I fully 100% shifted to these tools because of so many reasons. Now, not to be biased, but since most of the Google Workspace tools are browser based, I don't need to, for example, install yearly softwares that I have to pay as well. So at the same time, it's cost effective, less maintenance on our device, something like that, and the accessibility. So again, sir, Yoga, thank you very much for sharing. Again, there's a sync in time. Don't worry for everybody here. There's a sync in time. We may not be able to maybe do it in a much faster phase at the moment, but eventually, um, I really advise everybody to just practice these applications, and eventually, what will happen is that when when we're already used to these tools, we're actually will become much faster in doing things. Okay. Any other participants who would like to turn on their mics, or and maybe share their difficulties or challenges during while making the assignments? Maybe one more. Any takers? Or I'll try to call. May I? May I call somebody? Let's try. Um, Maybe I could ask um Steven of Quipper. Are you here?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
With regards to your question in terms of difficulty,
Mhm.
probably in my end, I'm quite used to Google Docs and Google Sheets. So, most likely, since I'm in an edtech company and we're doing production, Most of the time, we're looking at the stability of the websites. So if we're trying to incorporate it in our components, such as YouTube videos, usually we need to capture it in like a Wayback Machine time to be able to preserve it, because sometimes if we use let's say videos from others, we don't have the assurance that it will be there forever. So we usually capture a moment in the internet and then paste it there. Also, sometimes, as much as possible, we also use our own materials and just upload it in our drive, and then we maintain it, we keep it in order to avoid those instances. So I think that's my major problem usually, finding materials available on the internet without the use of our internal resources that will be available for a very long period of time.
Thank you, Steven. Actually, this is coming from a view of an educational person from a tech field, right? Not specifically teaching students, but it's really nice to also know how these tools really work for the tech side or for others not teaching students. So actually, um, these applications, I hope that you find it also user friendly, and at the same time, um, how do I say it? User friendly, and also um, how do I say it? User friendly and compatible. They're compatible to your existing learning management system, because I believe sometimes there are some tools that they don't accommodate other platforms, something like that. But I hope these tools would not hinder us to be more creative or strategic, and also innovative in our teaching styles, or to be more productive. Going back here, there's another one. This is from Mark Steven Santiago. Is this also the same as the Steven from Quipper?
Yes, yes, sorry.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So this is actually a good material as well. As you can see here, what he chose I'll try to zoom in. This is actually um another strategy that you could use. In here, it says, let us look at these images. What animals do you see? Click the animal on the drop down below. So we're used to maybe giving them Google Forms to answer. But in here, inside Google Docs, you can already use this feature. You can apply a drop down. Oops, sorry. You can already apply a drop down feature as choice or choices of the students. For example, in here, polar bear, snake. So you can customize this. Now, just to refresh us about or how to apply this, I'll try to zoom out. Remember the smart chip. I'll try to put something here. So when you type in @, you see here different options to choose from. So let's say you want to insert a drop down. So there. So drop down, and then it's up to you what to put here. If you want to customize this, then you could do so. So these are the things. This is actually new. One of the new features of Google Workspace, and it was just recently rolled out here in our region. I think around May or July of this year. So it's uh really really new, a new feature. So there. What else? There's a link to the story. So through Google Slides, and then drop down feature again. What else? Some links to documents, You just have to make sure that the links that you're linking or giving to your or putting in your documents are actually can be accessible. So just double check if your links are on what you call this, if the links are not restricted there. What else? So most of it are in a drop down format, which is something very refreshing for the teachers because we don't normally do this in a Google document. So there. Thank you very much, Steven. Maybe one more. I think whoop, is there one more? This one is from um Sierma Corpus. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So this is another approach from a math teacher. So obviously, you're teaching geometry, but what I really like about this is that aside from inserting images, you were able to put those links into a what do you call this, into different shapes. For example, one would be through arrows there. So one would be, this is a slide. Sorry, this is all right. No, this is an image. And then the other one would be a website about geometry. What else? So each of these are linked to different resources. And then Sherma did was to put it in like a dialog box or through shapes to make it more visible for the students. So you could really do this kind of strategy to also avoid having too much text for the students, because sometimes when students see a lot of text and then a little bit of image, sometimes they don't get interested in the lesson sometimes. So if the topics are maybe quite complex or maybe difficult, we could try another strategy by making or coming up with a more visually impactful material for our students. So there, thank you very much for this. Right now, I'd like to go back to our presentation and already start the first topic. So thank you very much. Don't worry, more hyperdocs will be integrated still with these tools later on in our next activities. So right now, allow me to introduce this tool. This is Google Arts and Culture. So our topic would be exploring immersive tools with Google Arts and Culture, and plus discussion and experiential learning. Now, I'd like to ask everybody, are you familiar with Google Arts and Culture? Were you able to use this already before as a tool? Type in yes or maybe not yet in the chat section. Let's see. Okay, so not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, so I'm happy. I'm happy that most of you answered not yet, so that there's still an element of surprise in the session. So Google Arts and Culture. So this is another application that you can use for your students. So whether you're teaching online or you're in a hybrid setup, or even if you're on a face-to-face setup already, especially for those teachers who are already who are doing a 5-day face-to-face teaching environment. So Google Arts and Culture is an application that you can use as a replacement for field trips. What else? This is an application, a very rich application on different resources that you may or can use to further amplify your lessons, to add more quality to the experience or the learning experience of your students. Now, the Google Arts and Culture has been existing around 2016 already. So I think 2015, 2016. So it's been existing already, and we've observed how this application really grew. So there's a lot of um, topics that you can find here. So I'd like to show you first a quick video about this before I keep on talking. So, okay, I'll be playing this.
Welcome back to EDU in 90. Today, we'll focus our episode on Google Arts and Culture, which you might be familiar with from the viral art selfie tool you can use to find your art.
More than that. And today, we'll look at this free resource and how it can be useful in the classroom. Here we go.
Google Arts and Culture was developed through close collaboration between Google and arts partners like museums around the world. It houses content that can be experienced through a variety of mediums, including video, virtual and augmented reality, 3D models, and super high-res images.
You can search the huge range of artwork by artist, movement, or even a specific historical event. From there, you can browse a selection of high-resolution pieces of art right from your Chromebook or device.
Some pieces, like Van Gogh's Starry Night, are gigapixel images, allowing you to get an even closer look than you could in a gallery.
As part of Arts and Culture, Google has collaborated with tons of different museums. In the Natural History Project, you can use Google Cardboard to see the giraffe at Titan in 360 degrees. You can also use Street View to navigate through the American Museum of Natural History.
My personal favorite is History of Magic. For this project, we partnered with the British Library to go behind the scenes of their Harry Potter exhibit, including early notes from J.K. Rowling and illustrations from Jim Kay. The Arts and Culture team partnered with Google Expeditions, enabling educators to transport their students across the globe with AR and VR experiences. So whether you're in Melbourne or Minneapolis, you can take your class to visit St. Paul's Cathedral in London.
And in partnership with TES, there are more than 200 educator-created lesson plans to accompany some of the expeditions. Check them out in the episode description below.
Arts and Culture can also be a curation hub, where you can build your own galleries, share existing ones, and empower students to create their own for a specific topic. These galleries can have a mixture of content and writing, and once they're complete, you can easily share to Google Classroom. That just skims the surface of all the great content on Google Arts and Culture. It can be accessed on the web or through the iOS and Android apps. Be sure to check out the notes below for some of our favorite projects, and tell us in the comments about your favorite features or ideas for using it in the classroom.
That's a wrap for today. We'll see you in the next episode. Be sure to subscribe to the Google for Education YouTube channel for more EDU in 90.
Okay, so this is Google Arts and Culture. As you can see in the video, the topics were really highlighted on history, on maybe for teachers who are teaching social studies or maybe literature, but you can find a lot of resources even for other subjects that you're teaching. So I'll try to give more details about this. So again, Google Arts and Culture is an online platform of high-resolution images and videos of artwork and cultural artifacts from partner cultural organizations throughout the world. Now, this application is also available in your iOS devices and your Android devices. So right now, maybe I'll give you a few seconds to try to check it out in your download store in your cell phones. Maybe I'll give you a minute maybe to access this or download this in your mobile devices. So in the first few minutes of this discussion, I'll be touring you or guiding you through the browser-based platform of Google Arts and Culture. And then later on, I'll also be asking you to check on your mobile phones or this Google Arts and Culture application, because it also gives a different experience if you're using your mobile phone. So later on, I'll be showing more examples for this. But right now, again, I will give you a minute to check your Play Store or your App Store and go look for Google Arts and Culture. So you should be able to see this logo. You can just maybe just type arts and culture. So this is free. All of the resources are free. No need to pay for anything. Even for subscriptions. Now you can also access this even with your personal Google accounts, aside from our school accounts. Okay, so while the others are still searching or downloading the application, so what can we do with Google Arts and Culture? So number one, you could really explore or browse content from a wide range of subject areas. So I'd like to ask, what subjects are you currently teaching? You can type it in our chat section. What subjects are you currently teaching? We have science, SLGE, research, chemistry. What's SLGE? Apologies.
Social living and global
Oh,
education.
okay. Social living and global education. Chemistry, science. Biology, math. Okay. So I think most of the subjects here, we have available topics for these subjects, even for math. I mean, like the others would be maybe will have different styles or approaches to be able to incorporate this in your lessons. Maybe you could use these as an intro to your topic. For example, if your first part of the lesson would be introducing the mathematician, or maybe introducing that person who discovered something. So you could actually go into Google Arts and Culture and find those people, or maybe those specific places. What else? 360. So immerse. You have experience 360 videos in VR or standard view. Now, what's really good about this is that you'll be able to find videos, mostly are on YouTube, that has a 360 capability. So for example, if you're viewing it in your laptop, you can just drag your mouse or touch your mouse anywhere on the YouTube video, and then you could actually move around and look all over the place, or even, like virtually walk, something like that. The other one is that if you are also interested in like VR kits, I'm not sure if you've tried that before, or maybe if you've purchased a few years ago. It was a hype way back, maybe 3-4 years ago, the VR kits. Now there are what do you call this? There are a low cost VR devices or cardboard devices that you could also use or integrate with your students. So this is just an optional. So virtual reality is something that you might consider introducing to your students. Now, in the video discussed earlier, originally the VR videos of Google are in a different application, which is called Expeditions, Google Expeditions. But what happened was in 2020, they stopped expeditions and all of its content were placed in Google Arts and Culture to improve the overall experience for Google Arts and Culture. So there. And then the other one would be you could also look for lesson plans in the Google Arts and Culture. Try to see if there will be something that might match or would complement your lessons. And then the other one, expand, bring the world into the classroom or students' homes with AR. So aside from VR or virtual reality, you may also introduce augmented reality. Now, this is mostly through the use of our mobile phones. We have to open our cameras and we have to point our lenses into a specific blank portions of our maybe room or table, and then that image will load there. So that's in an augmented reality. What's really nice about that is that, for example, if I'm the student, I could really go around the place, go around the specific object that was loaded in that specific area. So later on, I'll show more of this. Okay, so here I've prepared a skill set. So what can we do with this application? Again, number one, let's try to open Google Arts and Culture. How do we go there? Aside from the app. So let's go first with the browser based or through our browsers. So remember last time how to access a Google application. We go to the waffle icon. I'll try to do a quick demo for the others. Let's try to open the waffle icon and then look for arts and culture. So this is the application. There. So this is Google Arts and Culture, but I'll go back first to my presentation again. What else should we expect to do? Download available lesson plans. What else? Save artwork / museum pieces. Explore virtual field trips. View 360-degree videos. Explore mobile features. And learn how to share this content to our existing Google Classroom or learning management system. So let's try to navigate already and explore Google Arts and Culture. Later on, I'll give you more time to really individually look for your interested topic. So as you can see here, this is the home page of Google Arts and Culture. Now this changes from time to time. So you could look for many resources here. So as you can see, we have about Queen Elizabeth. You could explore, you can scroll down. So these are the featured topics like food in Ukiyo, Meet Tristan, 7 Abstract Expressionist. What else? There's a lot. Actually, I don't really memorize all of it because they keep on putting more content here. So aside from this, they're also encouraging everybody to download this in their mobile phones, because again, there's another experience that you could enjoy, and most especially the students could enjoy through their mobile phones. You could also explore on this culture box. What else? You have here artists, if you're fascinated to different artists, museums, art movements, places, historic events, historical figures, and there's also I'm feeling lucky. Now, this is a random topic. Now, most of it would really be focusing more on what we call experiential learning. This is the keyword for Google Arts and Culture, experiential learning. Remember that the past few years, and it may be applicable even during this pandemic, that we are limited to going to different places. especially field trips. So it's really another innovative way to introduce this in our with to our students. It's like giving them a virtual field trip, and at the same time giving them more opportunities to digitally navigate into these artifacts, into these museums. Now, what else? When you scroll down, there's a lot, even games. So fish magic, more artists, photography, um, there. So you could explore so many things here. So I'd like to show you one example. So let's say I want to look at maybe the first one we've seen, Queen Elizabeth II. So when I okay, some questions here would be from the chat. What if we don't have Google Workspace for Education license? Actually, for Google Arts and Culture, no need to worry. You can still access them with your personal accounts or at gmail.com. As you can see right now, in what I'm currently using to demo this is my personal account there. So at gmail.com. What else? I can open it from the mobile app. Yes, definitely. You could also use your phones, but there are specific features that's only applicable for mobile devices. So later on, I'll also be showing that. So when I click going back to this demo, so I'll click Queen Elizabeth II. So there would be a lot of information, details about this. Now, what's good about this is that there's a heart icon. So when you click this, it goes to your favorites, or it becomes part of your collection. And then the other one would be, this is the link. If you need to put it in your Google Classroom, or if you need to even upload it on your or post it in your Facebook accounts, Twitter, what else, Tumblr, email. I'm just not sure with some of the LMS, but definitely the link should be able to, they should be able to still access it when they post the link to your individual or specific learning management systems. But as you can see here, when you scroll down, it's really well documented. If it needs to be, for example, discussed in your class. So it would really give you more information about this to further support your lessons or your discussion with your students. So you would find here different resources. Now, as you can see here, a glimpse of Buckingham Palace. If you see this small guy here, this is what you call a pegman. Pegman. So when you see icons like this, it means that this specific content can be toured, meaning you could like virtually walk. So for example, I click this. So this is a full 360 image. But what's really nice about this is that you could explore and have a virtual experience. And then when you hover your mouse to these floors or directions, you could have a walking experience and really look at the high definition images or video, high definition image. So there. So you can really look around and observe well. This could also give you, this could further support you in assisting your students to further understand the topic, especially for those who are visual learners. So this is something that they could enjoy, you can use, and you can just give the link to them if they want their own virtual tours. Now, aside from that, I'd like to go back to the homepage. There are also topics here, or wait, for example, this one, you could also observe the structures and really zoom in or zoom out. Something like this. And then this one, this is like an augmented reality, but you'd much appreciate this when you load this in your mobile devices. Now, so there's a lot of things that you could explore. Again, these are the Pegman, so you can check these out, even the museums. What else? I want to go specifically to the subjects. So I'll here. So in the next page, in the next tab, you have the explore page. You can also check for Google Arts and Culture experiments, art camera, or if you really wanna focus on 360 videos. So you could find 360 videos here. For example, go inside the space shuttle in VR. So for science teachers, this is through YouTube videos.
Seconds. T-minus 10, go for main engine.
So you
We
could
are
make
go
use
for
of
main engine
this,
Start, T-minus 6.
and then I'll try to mute it first. So what's really nice about this is that, again, students can go over the whole the whole place. Now, if you're trying to access this via mobile device, I'm not sure if you've observed when you play YouTube videos, sometimes you will see like a VR or glass beside this. That means you can put it on VR mode. So that's how it works on YouTube. And then you could put that in a VR kit or a VR device. So there. This is something that you can enjoy, and definitely the students. A lot of science topics also are here. What else? So these are some 360 videos that you could check out. What else? Even for fashion. So there, Coco Chanel's little black dress in 360. So a lot of things you could explore here. The other one, I'd like to scroll down because there's a specific page here for lessons itself. When you go to the burger icon on your left portion, you can also look for more. You can find more. Your nearby profile, your achievement. So it's a little bit gamified. So you could explore on this on how to make it more exciting for your students. You have collections. This is there. So you can really find a lot here. Collections. What else? Artists, mediums, art movements, historical events, historical places. But I'd like to show you the lessons. I'll have to go back to the slides. This one. I'll also give this link in the chat section. here. So as you can see here, learn with Google Arts and Culture, you'll find here, you have the guide, you have your top tips, and then you could pick a subject. So let's say if you're teaching literature, you could view this computing, you have geography, biology, you have art, you have physics, you have chemistry, history, music. Now, for example, let's try to go physics, for example. Now, here are the things or the people that you can introduce in your subject. What else? You have here content such as astrophysics, Newton's law of motion in space, some videos that you could use, Big Bang, and then you could also, this is something I also like, 3D objects. So let's say you want your students to explore and observe the Apollo 11. This is something that you could show to your class, or maybe the details of a spacesuit. So you could really zoom in. You could really see the high quality content there. And then there's the link. If you need to give it as an assignment or an activity for your students, you have your share button. You have the link, you have the share button, and heart. Ayan. There's also view in augmented reality, but again, this is best if you're using your mobile phones. The augmented reality are much better through your mobile phone. So there's so many things that you could really find here. One more before I give you your individual exploration. So for example, you want to use this to maybe give them a tour on spaceships or space shuttles. So you can find it here. They could walk around. Wait. So this one, maybe this. So for example, this one. So you could virtually, your students could virtually walk into these places and just observe the details. So again, going back to the highlight of this application, it's really focused on experiential learning. Now, I'd also like to show you the mobile applications. Now, for the mobile applications, if you've downloaded it, as you noticed, selfies are really the thing nowadays. And the use of filters. So when you download the mobile app, Google Arts and Culture, your students or even you could also take selfies, but they have also what we call art filter, art transfer, art selfie, art projector, pocket gallery, and color palette. What are these? So when you take selfies, for example, students or you could even wear, for example, important artifacts or maybe backgrounds, something like these. So they've fused the concept of selfies and history into this application. So the filters could be worn by you, something like this, or could serve as a background when you take a picture. So this is my co-trainer. So these are samples. This is me wearing this helmet with Tengu mask there. So these are more examples. Self-portrait with monkey, and then so many things still that's really immersive or give you immer experiential learning for your students. The other one is that this is a screen recorded video from my mobile devices. So if you're using your phone doing like this, you could actually swipe to move and observe different paintings or different items in the museum. So it serves as a virtual, again, field trip. And then when you go closer or zoom in, so it's still high quality content. Then the other one is the application of augmented reality. So you can load specific maybe paintings or what you call this, some artifacts exactly on your room, or maybe on top of your table on a blank space, and then you could load it there and you could go around and observe the details of these images. So right now, enough talking for me. So I'll give you your time to explore on this. So skill check would be open Google Arts and Culture using your Chrome browser. Explore as much of the features of the tool as you can. Save artwork. So this is part of your activity for later. So try to look at your lessons or your specific subjects and see if you can find something that will match your current lessons. And then save it, save the artwork, the museum materials about that specific topic. You could also take a screenshot if you want to. And there. So that's the first activity for this. I'll try to erase this. There. So screenshot as many as you want. What else? The links, or put heart on those content. By the way, in the Google Arts and Culture, you can also search. So for example, you want to search for maybe Aristotle, for example. So you could try searching as well what content would be here or not included here. So you could try clicking the magnifying glass or just looking at the subjects. Time check, it's 3:15. I'll give you 10 minutes to go around, to observe, to take screenshots. Again, it's 3:15. I'll give you 10 minutes to do this. For the others, maybe later on, I'll also ask somebody to screen share and share with us what you've seen or what you've discovered in the Google Arts and Culture. Okay. Okay, so I'll set a timer for you to explore, both for your mobile phones and even through your browsers. You still have 4 minutes to explore. Let's try to dig deeper into these resources and see what content could we use to integrate in our current lessons, or maybe in the next few weeks lessons. Don't forget to take screenshots and save links for the second activity that we're going to do after this exploration. While you're still exploring, I'll try to answer some of the questions or concerns in the chat. From Yoga, regarding the Google Arts and Culture, you said here, I used my campus email, but the Art and Culture app is unavailable. Actually, if you're using a campus email or a school account, it depends on the admins of that school. So maybe they've locked or blocked some applications. So if you think that this application would be useful, you may need to request this to be turned on by the Google admins, because again, for school accounts, they have they could limit some of the tools that they think might not be useful for the school. So there, I hope I was able to answer this. And then another one from Steven. What is Google's policy when arts, culture, and its contents are used in a commercial way? Actually, I'm not I'm not sure if I could specifically answer your question on this, but the Google Arts and Culture, this is actually a non-commercial initiative. So what you could do here is that you could try partnering with them if that needs to be, for example, commercially used. So in their website, there are like, you can contact them, or there's another one, you can contact the team to partner with them, whether to digitize your content, or yeah. So I hope I was able to answer. Okay, so time's up. Type in number 1. Are you still here with me? type in number 1 in our in-call messages. Okay. Okay, so before we have a health break, we'll have an activity first. But I'd like to ask maybe somebody to who would like to volunteer to screen share and show us what you liked or what content did you really find interesting in the Google Arts and Culture. May I ask somebody, a volunteer who could share their screen and give us like just a quick tour on what you've discovered? Anyone? There. Yoga. Thank you very much. So you can share your screen and also maybe open your microphone to share your thoughts. Okay. There.
Okay, so this is my favorite tab from exploring the arts and culture. Yeah, so far what I explore mostly 360 and about stories about spaces, about the space, North Pole, and Indonesia. Okay. So the first one, this is the 360 video of dolphin encounter on the Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, so I watched the dolphins around me using my computer. And next one is 3 stories about the exploration in North Pole, and then a story about clothes in Indonesia, and is a quiz actually, the online exhibit about the solar system. Okay, and then yeah, so far I like the 360 videos, the themes, and I also explore about the art, the surrealism design, and the last one is I explore the museum section, the Museum Nasional in Indonesia. That's what I explore so far.
Thank you, Yoga. Really interesting. Actually, I haven't. I'm from the Philippines. I really haven't checked also if what content would be available specific for Philippines. For the other Filipino participants, were you able to find some content specific for Philippines? Because really for yoga, you were able to find some content about Malaysia, right? How about the others? Anyone who would like to share their screen? One more. There. Rahima. Am I pronouncing it right? Okay. You're muted.
Hi,
Okay.
Sir Adrian. Good
Hi.
afternoon. Yes, my name is Rahima, but you can call me Ima for short. Okay, so I just want to say thank you first, Sir Adrian. This is very informative, something new to us, especially to me. And I would just like to share the favorites that I have on my here. So I'm actually, this is not actually for my students right now. When I was exploring it, I think it's more applicable for myself. I enjoy doing embroidery. My hobbies painting, calligraphy, and luckily I was able to find them here. So I am so happy. So I was able to even check this out, the art coloring book, which I can do online. So I think when you're stressed, you don't really need the physical copy. You can do it digitally, which is very amazing. And then I also have calligraphy, embroidery, and sewing. All I think not just for the students, but I think it's also applicable for you. we just need to take time to explore it, but it's really beautiful. So thank you for sharing this, Sir Adrian. That's all on my end. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Ima. Actually, this application is not only for students, but also for us who are really, continuous learners, right? So really, there's a lot of interesting topics to discover. So there. So thank you, Miss Ima. Right now, let's proceed to the activity. So this is our second activity, related to what I asked you earlier to take a screenshot, get the links. So the activity, I'll be sharing this with you. Okay, there. So what you're going to do is, this is just a template that I've created. It's up to you if you want to change this, but this will serve as your guide. So what I will be asking you is definitely choose a slide. So one slide per participant. If you think the others are already working on that slide, make sure to move to the next one. Okay. Now you have to insert your name and then your chosen topic, and then get the brief detail about that chosen topic. Get all the links if you need to, images or screenshots. Come up with your own page. So this will just be a guide for you. An example will be available here. I'll be pasting it in the in-call messages. But as you can see here, I've chosen Taj Mahal. I've got the description in the Google Arts and Culture. There's Explore Taj Mahal. So it's already in a hyperdoc as well. So let's try to fuse what we've learned during the day one plus Google Arts and Culture. I've inserted some GIF about Taj Mahal. This is the map linked, a YouTube video, and some images. So let's try to um how do I say it? Let's try to present or showcase what we've discovered during the exploration. So it's up to you if you want to like follow the template or have your own touch. Okay. So for this activity, I'll give you, let's try if we could do this in 10 minutes. Let's see what we can come up with. Fusing what we've learned for day one, hyperdocs, and then what we've discovered for Google Arts and Culture. So right now, I'll be again flashing a timer, another 10-minute video to work on this. Whoop. Okay, we'll start the timer now. It's already 3:35. 10 minutes for this. Let me know if you have questions or if you're maybe having trouble or you need assistance. We still have 6 minutes for this activity. You have less than 2 minutes. Okay, so let's try to finalize our individual slides. We have 30 seconds left. Okay, time's up. So let's see if you were able to put all your discoveries in your specific slide. Um, Maybe before we go on, uh, before we check this, let's have first our 10-minute break. Before we run this, is it okay? Let's have our 10-minute break first. 3:45 is the time. Let's be back by 3:55. Welcome back, teachers and participants of this workshop. Are you all here? Type in number 5 in our in-call messages or chat box to alert me if you're already here. Okay. Thank you, Ima, Esmen. Okay. So let's try to just quickly run the slide presentation or the activity rather. Okay. So I've also observed earlier during the break, some of you are also still working on your individual slides. So let's try to see or check what you've showcased. So the first one is from Esmen. We have Pakistan culture. So we have some screenshots, some textile collection, details, and some resources, more resources. Okay. The next one would be from Maribeth. Uh, and your topic would be Anne Frank's house. Some screenshots and links. Are there links? So let's see there. So in this activity, it's not just showcasing the content you've discovered, but also practicing our hyperdoc method. So the other one is from yoga, batik there. So there's YouTube video about batik, and then some improved layout for the brief description, some links also about batik, batik wiki, batik gallery, and 5 things to know about Indonesian textiles. So there, and some screenshots too. Thank you, yoga, for this. Ima, life in miniature is your topic, and then there's GIF there. So integration of GIF, video Indian miniatures in AR. We have some screenshots from the actual page and from the gallery. So this is a link to the gallery for virtual walks. Ayan. Okay. So going back to the presentation, let's proceed to the next one. We have Renaissance paintings from Donna Binata there. So brief text, you have links there, and Mona Lisa. We have from Steven, Life in Deep Sea, brief description, links to deep from the depths of Earth's ocean. We have a YouTube video and more links again for this. So this is something that we could do in as we prepare or craft our maybe modules or slide presentations with our students, and eventually when we give it to them, so it is showcased well for them. So there. This is from Lord Dennis Leonardo. So I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Ivatan culture. So here's a brief description. Maybe you're still doing this. So if you want to go back to this activity and continue, then feel free to do so. So it also is a way for you to practice some of the skills we learned. This is from Crispin Ligod. The topic would be Great Wall of China, and really modified this portion. And then we have images, inserted screenshots, and links to some of the content in the Google Arts and Culture. From Mr. Olpiano, some links as well. From Sir Roy, text and links here. And then Ma'am Sierma. So I see here you've seen a mathematics content. So I was happy. So some links as well. Are there any links? I'll just brief description. We'll try to, are there any other we also have from Darius Tolentino, games, links. By the way, in the Google Arts and Culture, you'll also find there some games and puzzles that you may want to introduce also to your students. Then we have, is that the last one? No, this one. Verge, the theory of relativity. Is this coming from the Google Arts and Culture? So there, videos, you have links to the activity. Let's try to check. There, so there's a link to a PDF material. And then let's try to proceed to the next. Or is that the last one? Okay. We have Japan from Sheila of Galileo, and then links to further support the topic. And then from Marie Grace Quaresma, traditions and beliefs in the Philippines. So there are content as well in the Philippines, but I'm not just sure if it's we have that much compared to the other countries. Some images also here, and I think that's it. Okay, so that's actually the end of our Google Arts and Culture. Right now, I'd like to proceed to the next application. Are you all ready? Are you all ready for the next and final application? Our last application would be Google Sites, creating Google Sites for flexible repository of content and learning materials. Now, I'd like to know if you've tried using Google Sites. Type in number one. Type in yes if you've tried it or created one already, or no, not yet. Okay. Okay, so a lot here, not yet. Okay, so let's try to talk about Google Sites. Now, when we hear the word site or website, or just, talking about or leading towards creating a website, it's something that teachers dread or teachers avoid, because sometimes for teachers, the word website or website making can be intimidating for most. Now, this is also my experience before when I heard about, teachers could create websites. I also doubted my skills if I could really make one, because what I really know is that when we create a website, you need some technical skills to really do that. For the others, maybe they need some coding skills to really understand how to design a specific website. But now, Google Sites specifically, we have a platform already under Google Workspace wherein we can create website that's drag and drop. Again, no need for any technical skills. All we have to do, or all we have to come up with, is the idea, the design of our website. Okay, so luckily for Google, they actually created a user-friendly tool. Before the first Google Sites was kind of complicated, but in around 2015, they modified it in a way that there's an option for the teacher or for the user in general to have a Google Site Classic. The Google Sites Classic, which requires them some technical skills, and then the other one is the new Google Sites. I think they still call it the new Google Sites for the drag and drop versions. So when I try to simplify the concept of website making for teachers, I always say this, that imagine a big slide presentation. So it's like a big slide presentation. Longer ones that you have to put, or you have to strategically design, put the things you need to put to be able to showcase something. So again, for the website, it's really up to you. What kind of website do you want to come up with? Do you want a website for your subject? I did that before. I remembered when I was doing part-time teaching, that was around 2017 and 2019. And I used to teach empowerment technologies. And that time there were no specific books for me to teach that subject. So I really had to look for different resources in the library, online resources, some books that I could connect to the subject. But what I did was to compile everything in a website. So that's something that really helped me for that semester. So creating a website for my students. Now, for the others, you could also come up with a class website to also showcase what's happening in your class, the activities, or maybe some announcements. Now, this is maybe some of the concern or conflicting issues about Google Sites. People would ask me, sir, I already have a Google Classroom or we already have a learning management system. Why do we still need to come up with our website? Now, going back to this details in the presentation, Google Sites for flexible repository. Now, our Google Classroom or maybe learning management systems are already repositories, but a Google site, we should not make it like a, how do I say it? It should not conflict with your existing learning management systems. Your Google site should be able to complement your materials and resources. Now, a Google site is a good way to showcase what's happening in your subject or in your class, or another way for you to come up with your ebook or your online resources that students could also visit. So the other one for bigger projects for your students, it's also good to introduce this kind of platform as early as maybe elementary students or grade schoolers, because right now it's already good to teach them how to craft their own digital portfolios, their their identity, by gathering all the things that they need. So for example, when you imagine a website, what are you expecting, by the way? What are you expecting in a website? What are you expecting to see in a website? You can type your answers in the in-call messages. What do you normally see in a website? Information, thank you. Links, yes. Let's try to also check or remember the school websites that we have. What else do what do we expect? Information, texts, yes, videos, announcements. So these are the things that we really want to showcase or we really want to put there. What else? Maybe you're also looking for gallery, right? Pictures, images, that the viewers might be interested in. So ideally, the Google site is a mixture of all of these that you've typed here in the in-call messages, links, no, videos, all of these information that would make it really a good website. Now, it's already up to you on the design. The design itself, it depends on the creativity, the styling of you, the teacher, in coming up with the website. But again, a website really is for specifically Google sites. I think this is one of the easiest website making platform. So because I've tried also other platforms. So for me, this is really the easiest and most user friendly. So right now, let's navigate through the user interface of Google Sites. This one, I'd like you to follow me. I'll be doing some demonstrations on how to access a Google site. So it's up to you if you want to go to the waffle icon. But sometimes for the other, this is not fixed, by the way. It has different orders. So it may not be the same, but for the other, sometimes Google Sites is not visible in the waffle icon. So kindly check if you can see Google Sites in here. In my screen, I don't have sites here. So it's also nice to know how to access it in another way, which is through the Omnibox. Okay, so if you can't see the Google Sites and the waffle icon, let's all go to or type in the Omnibox sites.google.com. Again, that's sites.google.com. There. So I hope you could follow. What's nice about Google Sites is that it's the homepage is similar to Google Docs, Google Slides, and the rest of the Google Workspace productivity tools. So this is the new Google Sites. So this is the drag and drop version. Now on the bottom left portion, that's the back to classic site. So this is what I'm talking about earlier. The classic site is the one that's more complicated. But if you're the technical type of person, you could try to explore this. But the one I'm going to teach you is just the new one, which is the drag and drop type website. Let me know if you're already here, the same with me. Are you in the Google Sites? Type in number 1 if you're also in the Google Sites. There. Thank you. Same with the other productivity tools of Google. On top of it would be blank and some of the templates available. Before, we only have limited template, but right now we can already choose from here if we don't want to start from scratch. So just like with Google Docs, Slides, and Google Forms, you have templates here. So let's say if you're a beginner and you really want to have a guide, then you could try to follow some of these templates. So there's student portfolio, club, class. So for example, I'll try to open two types. One would be the template, which is a class. The other one is the blank one. So that you could also compare. So I'll try to click the class. So as you can see here, this is the whole page. All you have to do is to change all of these and replace it with your own materials, with your own descriptions. So that's this is really easy when it comes to following a template. It's hard if you don't know what to put, but if you have all the presentations that you want to put, the documents, the descriptions, the syllabus, then that would be really easy and fast for you to finish. So all you need to do, for example, if you're a class advisor, all you need to do is just change the class name. For example, grade 9 Aristotle. So this is something that you have to work on. This is per page. So if this is your home page, imagine it as one big slide presentation that you have to work on. So you just have to insert all the things that you need. Now, all the tools or controls should be on your right panel. Everything that you need to put would be here in our right panel. So I'd like to do just a quick tour on some of the tools here. So we have here the undo. I hope you can see it. Undo, redo, and then you have the preview. This is your best friend in Google Sites. While you're making it, you have to click this from time to time to check how your website is doing, or how it would look like for the viewers. So what I really like about this is that on the bottom right portion of the screen, you have here different what you call this, different modes. So we have large screens for laptop or computer desktop view. Now, for those who are viewing it on their tablets, so you could also check if the tablet view would still be okay when you're designing the website, because sometimes what you styled for the desktop view might be different for the tablet view. So you might need to do some adjusting. And then the other one would be the phone. So you have to make sure that when designing it, all of it will look decent or good enough for you, whether they shift to the different modes, because a lot of our students, our what you call this, users are accessing them in their different platforms. So once you're done, or like once you're done checking this, you may click X again to proceed or to continue editing. Now, aside from that, you have the link. If it's already published, later on that will be available if you publish already the link. Sorry, if you publish already the website. Then same with Google Docs, slide sheets. You could add collaborator. You could add people, colleagues to help you out. And for the students, it can be a group activity coming up with their own Google Sites or group site. Aside from that, you have the settings. Later on, we'll explore further on this. You have the 3 dotted icons for the version history. Similar, you may want to go back or review the previous versions of this. You can make a copy, and then the rest. Report a problem. If you want to take a turn later, you could also click this. But I'm here. Okay, so the other one, the right panel. So we have insert. So insert, you can insert a text box. Now what's in here, since we've chosen a template, so this is already fixed. I mean, this is already something that we could work on. But if you're not satisfied with the layout, you can like modify this, you can adjust this. If you want to add more text box, for example, then that's it. You just have to drag them, resize it. So for everything you put here, so for example, if I want to upload an image, I can get it from my laptop, from my desktop. So I'll try to get some sample images I used earlier. So this is something very easy to handle. Okay. So if you need to put there your class pictures, maybe a screenshot of your lesson, maybe a topic, an image to your topic, then you may do that. And then let's say you want to insert a sample text. So there. So if you want to, let's say, come up with like an announcement or like a welcome note, you could drag this text box anywhere in the page. So this is a guide for you. You may follow it or you may distort it, depends on you. And then for each text box, you can change the format. So there's text formatting options, title, heading. Yeah, if you want a different font, the size, feel free to customize it. So it really will depend on how the teacher would craft his or her Google site. So something like this. And then there. So if you want to put this on center, if you don't need this, delete, something like this. Now, as you can see here, there's a link as well. So if you want to make it like a hyperdoc style that there's links to some text, then you may do so. So let's say I'll be getting, for example, my timer, just a demo. Going back to the website, I want the word site with a YouTube video. Then I could just do this, and that's readily clickable. Now, let's say you want to make this center, you want to delete this. So all of the controls would be on the left side as well. Now, let's say this is, if you're following the layout or the template rather, if you're not satisfied with the color, then you could change it here. If you have a specific image to put there as the main background, then you could do so. So you have options. This on top serves as a cover photo, or like a cover photo for Facebook, for example. So it's up to you if you want to have a cover photo or just totally remove it. So you can change, you can upload, and then this is the size of your, like a cover photo or header rather. So you have a cover, which is bigger, large banner, you have banner, which is smaller. And then if you're the type of person that just, straightforward, then you can remove and just have just the title only. So you have these options to consider when designing your website. You could change each of these. So if you don't want yellow, then you could change it into just plain white or maybe gray. Now again, for these, you can replace this if you don't want to use this, or if you want to resize this, then feel free to do it. The other one, under insert, you can insert text box, you can insert image, you can even embed a whole website. For example, I'm going to delete some. I want to embed a National Geographic website. So I'm going to search for National Geographic. This is it, the National Geographic website. So I'll just copy this. I'll just get the link on top, and then I'll click embed here in the website. And then, so you have an option if you want to get just the URL or the embed code. So we'll be using URL. So we'll paste the National Geographic website. And then it's up to you if you want a whole page to be existing, a whole National Geographic website page in your classroom website, or just a preview. So for example, I want the whole page to be there. For example, if I'm a science teacher, so I'll click this whole page, insert, and then that's it. So if you're, for example, if you're the type of teacher that really relies on a website and you want to make it as like a regular part of your website, then you could do so. So how do we know if this is okay? So I'll try to remove some of this. Okay, so let's preview. So this is our best friend for Google Site. So let's see how it would look like in a desktop view. So you have the whole National Geographic embedded in your classroom site. So this is an option for you. And then when you scroll down, since we haven't touched on this portion yet, you can also put something about yourself. brief description and maybe some resources. But as you can see here, it's already templated. So all you have to do is just customize or just paste the links that you need. Now, double check if this is okay under a tablet mode. If you think it's not so good, then you may go back and adjust again. The goal is to make sure that whether they shift from different devices, the material or the content would still be okay or readable. And then for the phone view, this is phone view. Now, as you can see, maybe the National Geographic would be too small for a phone view. So with that, let's try to modify. I'll click X. I'll try to make it bigger for this National Geographic site. So I'll make it bigger. I'll extend it, something like that. But again, when you do that, your homepage gets longer. So it's up to you how long would a page be. I haven't exhausted it yet, but you could really come up with a really long homepage. So that's actually it for the homepage. If you want to remove the others, then feel free to remove. You can also get materials from Google Drive. So the other one would be content block. So if you're coming up with a blank website, can I show you the blank site? So for example, you want to create a blank website. So I want to compare it. So that's it. That's it. Bare. Just a gray cover and then your page title. This is similar, by the way, with the Google Docs slide sheets. If you want to put the title, it's untitled site. If you want to rename it demo, and then make sure to rename this. Again, it's modifiable. Now, let me know if you have questions along the way. Feel free to unmute if you want to. Going back here, the content blocks or the layout would be really like helpful during or when you chose a blank site. So for example, you want this layout, an image on the left, text on the side, on your right. So you can just drag this and then that's it. Insert the image, insert the text, the title and the descriptions. So if you want like a 4-image, you can just drag again, upload the image, put the text here. So if you're showcasing group photos, then you could put it here. Aside from the content block, you can come up with a collapsible group. So for example, if you click this, a collapsible group would be like so for example, when you, let's try to preview this. A collapsible text would be something like this. There. Going back again to the editing mode, aside from that, you can insert table of contents, image carousel. If you have a lot of photos to showcase, then just upload it. You can add all the photos here. And then we have buttons, dividers. If you want to come up with dividers, you can move it. You can just drag it. You have, this is new, social links. So you can put social links, maybe Facebook, Twitter, placeholders. You can come up with this, YouTube videos. you have calendar. So if you have your school calendar, you can also put it here in your class website. And definitely you have your doc, slide sheets, forms, and charts. So very good as well with gathering all the resources you used for your classes. So for example, I want to I'll go back to okay, just here. For example, I want to bring in all the slide presentations that I used for this workshop. So I'll just click this up. There. Up. Insert. So the slide presentations are already here. This is from the participant. So you could drag this anywhere you want to. And then when you preview this, you have the slide presentations that's readily accessible for the students. So it's also playable. It's up to you if you want to open it or just view it from the Google Sites as is. Aside from that, let me know if you have questions. I'll just continue. So aside from that, you have doc, slides, sheets, forms, and charts. You have an option. Now, this is just for the home page. Now, what if, sir, I want to have more pages? So to come up with more pages, so in here you have pages. This is the home page. This is the plus button. So it's up to you if you want to create a new blank page or a link to a specific website or full page embed or new menu section. But let's just try the new page. So for example, the page that you want to come up with, maybe course outline. There. So as you can see here, you have your home, you have your course outline. So it's another whole page that you have to design. So let's say you want to put here the syllabus of your lesson. So you can upload it here. So you just have to go back to insert again to insert the different files that you'll be needing. You can get your Google Drive here or be specific with docs. For example, I'll try to just get your assignments like the assignment of Steven earlier. So this is in the Google Doc. So it's up to me if I want this to be in what view. One pager and then maybe another one. Maybe I want to show you that even in a Microsoft Word, if you have it, then you could also put it here. So it's not only like only for Google apps. So you could bring in here even Microsoft tools, PDFs. So you could put it here. What else? Let's try one more. Maps. So for maps, if you need one, you could enter location and put it here. So for example, let's try Singapore. You can directly embed this into your website. There. So when you preview this, I'll try to add one more document. For example, a hyperdoc. For example, here. So let's see how this would look like when we preview. So this would look like a real website already. You have the map, you have some materials that you can view or review. You might want to adjust this again if you're not happy or satisfied with this. But as you can see here, it's already visible. You could check them out, or you can preview into another tab. So there. And then same thing, if you want to come up with more pages, just add the page. And then maybe if you want gallery, then this would be gallery. So just again, design everything. So as you go along and create more pages, for example, about. So this would be your tabs to your different pages. Now, the standard would be on top, but if you want to customize this and make it on the left panel, you have an option as well. So under the navigation, going back, it's in the settings. Mode, you can change the layout or the placement from top to side. So when you do that, your pages are on the left panel, and you can hide it. So it's up to you on designing it. The other one, you could also add a logo if you want to. So you can upload a logo or maybe a favicon. For example, a logo. I'm not sure if I have a ready logo here. For example, the logo would be maybe this one. Wait, one more. I can't modify. So you really have to get a logo. So for example, you have a school logo. I'll try to search for one. There, I have my logo. So let's say, maybe this one, I'll use this. So as you can see, I could put my logo there, or for your setup, school logo, depends on you. These are some of your tools, but I actually rarely use the settings here. I almost use these right panel tools most of the time. And then you have the theme. So if you find this quite boring or plain, you can modify this or choose different styles and font style and colors. So that's actually the Google Sites. And then once you're done with all of it, designing, you can now publish. Now for the publishing, you have to come up with a name. Definitely it will not be www.yourwebsite.com, because we're not hosting. We didn't pay for any hosting, but it will follow the website sites.google.com/ the name of the website. So yeah, you just have to make sure that when you put it or you customize the web address, make sure that it's not, would it be restricted or only available for your school or totally public. Now, for most teachers, they only make it available for all who has their same school accounts, only available for those people, so that outsiders won't see your specific website for the class. So it's up to you on what restrictions would you want to. But again, for schools, usually you have an added layer of protection, which is again only available for your school. So once you're done with this, for example, demo, make sure that it's unique. For example, demo Adrian, when I publish this, that's it. So let's say you want to get the link of this. You just give this to your students and this is your website already. So you have your home, course outline, your gallery, and about. So this is something that maybe you need to improve from time to time, depends on the run of your class sessions. But again, this it's your website could be a work in progress throughout the school year. For the others, you could also ask them to create a website to showcase their work or to showcase their projects. I remembered as well when I was teaching, I asked them to create a website, their own digital portfolios, as a performance task or a big project. And then what I did, I created a website, a class website, and then I got all their links, their digital portfolios, and then I linked it in my class website so that I could have access to their digital portfolios. And then when I show it to my principal and when I show it to their parents, they have all access to what they're really working on that specific month or specific quarter, what they're busy about. And then it's up to you if you want to maybe collaborate with other teachers to tag team with the subject so they could come up with their own class, their own collection of their online materials. So it's up to you on how to strategically place it as an activity for your students or maybe just a useful material for you, and have your students access it from time to time. But this is something again that you may want to again explore, practice, because it would really take you some time to finish it. But the principles are most likely the same with the creating hyperdocs during the first session. The Google Sites is like a culmination of all the things you've learned from the basic Google Workspace tools. For you to be able to come up with a Google site successfully, you have to at least have the basic knowledge of some of the Google Workspace applications. So if we're already knowledgeable on HyperDocs, this is something that that would not be so difficult for you to try. So there. Let me know if you have questions for this. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. You may turn on your mics if you want to. Actually, we're about to finish. Were you terrified about the Google Sites? Or what are your impression on Vismart, Manuel?
Yeah, i-share ko lang. Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, so I would just like to agree with you, sir, yung gamit with regards to the use of the Google site because I was really able to use the site during the time of pandemic. So it was really a great help in our school. We were able to come up with a learning management system using the Google site. Actually, all of the teachers in my previous schools were able to design their own learning management system using this Google site. So comparing to a Facebook, so you were correct, sir. You're mentioning a while ago na this is more this is better to use than other platforms in delivering the information to the learners and the lesson because you can put everything actually here and not in some of the teachers are using social media in posting the assignments and other information. So this is a safer site to use because uh, you can only your learners can only see the site, unlike in Facebook where anyone can actually see or access the information that we are posting in the social media. So that's it, sir.
Thank you, Sir Bismarck. Very insightful. So that's really true. While others would prefer social media accounts, I think um I don't want to disagree with using Facebook, but I find it resourceful for some because they could really find means to communicate with students and disseminate information. But then again, you are also right. Google site would be another option and maybe a better option for those teachers who would, come up with a learning platform there. So a learning platform and also much safer to avoid also some risks on, safety, information being disclosed. No? So these are the things that you could really benefit from using or creating a Google Sites. And then the other one, user friendly. All you have to do is to just practice and try testing how it is because again, all the controls are easy to understand there. And again, it just takes time to you know give it a couple of days just to explore and to test this, and definitely you'd be able to come up with your own Google Sites. How about the others po? No need to pay for domains. Yes, no need for you to pay domains or like hostings because it's under your school account. Well, if you're using a personal account, it will still start with sites.google.com and then the name of the website. Now, that's the difference. But again, if the website thing, if it still can do the same job with the one with the hosting, then I'm fine with having the sites.google.com. How about the others? Anyone? Any more insights on this? Any violent reactions? Okay. There's a question. What if the school year ends, sir? How can I prevent promoted student to access the site? How can I prevent promoted? Oh, for example, the school year is over and you don't want them to have access to your website. So what you can do here is to for the publish settings, sorry, I missed this. So when you click this, you can unpublish. So there. So if you don't want it to be visible or to be on public and you want to edit, just unpublish. If you want to edit, if for example you're going to add more, you have to republish again. So that's the thing. If we're going to add something in your published website, you have to click publish again to load the new information you've done, or new layout or design you've done, or modification rather. There. If we already published the site, can we rename it? So okay, let's try publish. Okay, settings. Wait. Publish settings, review changes and publish. Okay, publish settings. So in here, let's try. I'll try to rename it with HEADway Adrian. You just have to be cautious on this. I think you can still change it, but it says here updating the URL will break any external links and bookmarks. So when you do this, you just make sure to review the updated website if everything's working properly. If it's broken, you have to just re-upload something there. So anytime you need to change it, modify it, then you can do so there. Any other questions, insights, some clarifications that you need to know? Anyone? No more? Or maybe you're exhausted already. It's almost 5. Are you still okay? Type in number 9. If you're still okay. 9, okay? Thank you. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, so what you need to do is to just familiarize yourself with the navigation for the Google Sites. Again, all the tools are on the right panel. The pages, if you need to create one, assume that it's like a big Google slide presentation that you have to design. As easy as that. The designing will be on you. So it would really depends on how you style it. But what's really good also about this is that it gives you the opportunity to be more creative, show your creative side, and even for the students, you could already practice them or develop further their creativity with these this platform. The other one, before when we apply for work, we have to print our resume, our CVs, but nowadays they only ask you about your digital portfolio. So you can teach them as early as now, your students, to create or teach them how to come up with a very good digital portfolio in preparation also when they already enter the workforce. So something really good with Google Sites. Are there any questions? I think this will be the last time that I'll be asking there. Thank you, Hillary. Right now, Hillary will be dropping the assignment form and the survey in the chat in a few minutes. I'd like to show you the final assessment or the final project that you have to accomplish. So in here, final assessment would be craft your own digital portfolio using Google Sites for your designated subject. So again, it's up to you if you want a class website or maybe a subject website. Your website must have a home page and minimum of 2 other pages. So no need for you to come up with so many pages. So only home page and 2 more pages. It's up to you if you want a gallery, something like that. So I'll continue reading. You may include content from your syllabus, existing documents, video resources, and images to add quality to your site. Also, as a culminating project, find ways to integrate previously created documents in the workshop to complete your working site. So, if you have your existing Google site, existing Google Docs, the assignment that we've asked you to do the other day, you could also post that here in the website. Especially for those who have pending submissions, you can include your assignment in the website. Again, the home page and 2 more pages for the Google site. So all in all, you need to submit a website with 3 pages. Again, home page and then 2 more pages. It's up to you if 1 page would be about yourself. You may showcase yourself, you as a teacher, and then the other one would be the coursework, the content for your subject, something like that. And then there's actually a website through Brick, but this will be just a guideline for everybody. So there would be target and purpose homepage. The layout will also be will be checked. Integration of resources and multimedia elements, specifically your documents, videos, images, and others. And then the other one is functionality. So this will be checked on your created website. And then we'll also be giving you the link to the submission form. So all you have to do is to put your name and then the URL. Once you've published it, you can publish it. Make sure it's really on public mode. And then once you've submitted and get the certificates, you may unpublish if you want to. Just make sure to make it published for you to submit, and then you can just turn it off once we've graded, or once we've given the certificates. Okay, there's some people who needs to go. Let me know if you have questions. I think that would be it. So sorry, by the way, one more before we end the session. I'll paste here a link to the Jamboard again. And then you could put here as an exit ticket, how do you plan to integrate all the learnings you've gained from the workshop into your class sessions or respective field? Click a sticky note for your entry. For Steven, you could just save this link as well. Definitely you'll be receiving, everybody will receive an email about these details. But again, for to close this session, we'll ask everybody to answer the exit ticket and then the post-survey workshop. There, actually, Hillary posted also the post-workshop survey. So make sure to just save the links, especially the post-workshop survey and the link to the final project submission. And then what I also know, is it right, Hillary? You'll also be receiving an email about all of these, just in case.
Yeah, so after the workshop, I will be sending an email to everybody with all these details. So don't worry if you haven't caught it for now. As you guys are just doing up the exit ticket for the Jamboard, I've also included a link to our Facebook group for educators if you want to reconnect with each other there, and also other of our past participants and alumni. Yeah. Also, everybody will be receiving the video recording of the 2 workshop days sometime next week. So do look out for that as well. Yeah.
I'll just plug. So just in case you want to keep in touch with me, or if you have questions, you can just find me on Facebook. On Facebook, it's Adrian Luke Cruz, or you could also check on my YouTube channel. That's Look Beyond the Classroom. So I have some videos as well. You could easily find me on different social media platforms. I'll just type it here. there. There. Are there any questions? Maybe everybody's overwhelmed. I hope you're still okay after I demo and teach you the Google Sites. We only have a limited time, so I would like to thank everybody in actively participating and also for enrolling in this workshop. Thank you very much. Again, I'm Adrian Luke Cruz, and right now I will now turn you over to Hillary for the rest of the announcements.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for hosting this great workshop, and thanks everybody for attending. We're very glad that you could make both days. Yeah, so as you are just filling out the Jamboard form, yeah, just take note that to receive the certificate of completion, you need to also fill out the post-workshop survey that's due this coming Monday. And your final project submission should be done by the following Friday, 23rd September by 12 p.m. GMT+E. Yeah, so I'll be sending an email to everybody with these details, so no worries. And I think that's the end of our session. Please feel free to hang around. The room will be open for the next 10 minutes or so just to kind of finish off this exercise, and feel free to ask any questions in the meantime, and we will close the room by about 5:15 or 5:20. Yep, so thank you once again, everyone, and thanks, Adrian, for a great workshop.